I literally read it so many times. I'm reading it backwards now.
I think this is a good note for everybody out there.
He says that I don't pull well on TikTok, so
He doesn't. It's just a fact. It just doesn't pull well. It's called social media for a reason, and it's not selfish media.
I just gotta clear something up. You weren't the 12th man on the field.
Right?
There is no easy way to get anything ever.
This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mornings with Matt. This episode is also going to be Mattless, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll be able to have him virtually later in the week. We'll see how it goes. Today's topic is shatter the illusion, okay? Why did I choose this topic? Well, we went over it in our stand-up class last night. Astrid, I know, was a part of this class. I reference her a lot, but that's because she's always on here along with my dad. And it was just a really, really awesome class. And stand-up is something that I was a little bit afraid of. I didn't understand it. I love stand-up comedy. I like watching Kevin Hart, Gabriel Iglesias, all of those on YouTube and Netflix, the specials. I just die. I love them. They're fun to put on in the background. I think they're so creative. And then, so Matt, me, and Isabel triple-headed the kids, teens, and adults last night teaching stand-up. And Matt broke it down in this way that was super elegant. I'm going to look at my phone right now because I wrote down some really cool points that I was going to use last night if somebody had a question. So Matt said, act as if for the joke. That's one. What does that mean? Well, in stand-up comedy, basically all they're doing is shattering the illusion and surprising you, right? So when it comes to that, you hop on stage and the stand-up comedians, what they do is they write and then they go on stage and they're actors too. So they act as if what they're doing or what they're talking about is not weird even though they know it is. And that in itself is funny. And so then their jokes play on top of that, and that's sort of how they get the amount of laughter that they do. And obviously time in the craft, like stand-up is not something that's easy, but it is a formula. So anybody can do it if they work hard at it. The other thing was continually set up an idea and then flip it. So kind of what I just talked about shattering the illusion, but you set up this thing and then you flip it on its head right in front of the audience and they die because they were picturing one thing and really you were talking about the other thing. So that's kind of stand up at a base. We had some really cool classes last night. I got the opportunity to teach the back half of the adults class, which was really fun. I loved hearing their ideas, their stand up. I'm excited for next week. But this idea intrigued me because this idea of shatter the illusion, I was realizing how much it connects to life. So for me, I'm a super emotional person. It's something that is a strength of mine, but it's also a weakness. Like Matt has said this before on the show, but your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness. And that's something I've come to realize, but getting into that today, one thing that comes from being emotional, putting my heart into things, is a lot of the time I'm not able to hear the compliment if it comes before a critique or after a critique, because I know the work that I put in. I understand, like, oh, I did this thing. Like, I feel like I did my best work. And so the critique is hard for me to take sometimes, depending on the frame of mind I'm in. And because of that, I would get frustrated. I would talk to family, friends, whatever, like blow off steam a little bit. But Matt and I had a talk, and I didn't realize, but I was painting the picture totally wrong for those people. I was leaving out parts in the story. I was just kind of, even though I was venting to let off steam, I was doing it in a way that was painting Matt or Brian or whoever I was frustrated with in the moment in a bad light, which obviously we don't want to do. I know at my heart, Matt and Brian are both amazing people, so why would I want to do that to people that respect them, whether it's family, students, friends, whatever. And so that's a bad habit that I didn't realize I had, and thanks to Matt, he pointed it out, and I've been able to see it and try to move out of the way. But the reason I like to bring it up is because it really does go back to this idea of shattering the illusion. Because basically what I'm doing in that light is I'm saying, okay, so I did this thing. I set up for 3 hours, but I did it in the wrong corner of the room, and I had some of the chords messed up, so I got a critique about it. But I was in there for 3 hours, and now I'm tired, and I'm frustrated, and if I don't give all the facts, and I don't say, hey, I messed up on this thing, or I'm the one who wanted to change the setup, or whatever, if I don't give all of the information, what I'm doing is I'm painting the picture wrong and shattering the illusion for the person I'm venting to. So then, like I said before, it paints whoever I'm talking about in a negative light, which obviously I don't want to do, but that's what I'm doing. Like, you have to hold yourself accountable for those things. So that's something I wanted to get on here and talk about today, is from talking through that, from realizing that, that's one of those bad habits where I didn't know I had it, but it's not something I want to have in my arsenal of personality traits. I don't want to be the person who doesn't paint the full picture, because at the end of the day, truth is that's lying. And that's funny that I bring that up, because Matt said that when he was with Frank Caliendo and Frank sent him up to do stand-up for like 4 of his shows, and Frank just said stand-up comedians are just really great liars. Like, they go up there and they lie to the audience, and then they shatter that illusion. So again, there's good and bad on both sides. This formula can be used for good. It can be used to make people laugh, but you have to be careful, because if you're doing this formula and using these practices in your life, I've seen it firsthand, then you can be putting the people you love unintentionally in the fire, and that's not fair to them. So that was my first point here. Was I woke up kind of late this morning, like 6:15, and I swear the time's changed in Arizona. I know that's not true, but my alarm clock said that it was 5:30 and 5:15 when I like hit the alarm, and it's a boombox, so it's super loud. I cannot believe that both Brian and I didn't wake up, I guess, but it was just crazy. So apologize for waking up late, but I'm excited to be on the show. And yeah, that's sort of the reason why it came to me, because the original topic was love is the center. I know that's something that Matt was super excited about, so I wanted to save that topic. And also, truthfully, there's a lot I could talk about on love, but as far as love being the center, I feel like that's a better episode when Matt or Brian or all 3 of us are on here, because that's our center value, and I think we all have different reasons for why. You know, it's the same as far as we all believe in it, buy into it, but I think we all have a different way of loving, a different way to describe it. So I wanted to make sure that topic gets justice done to it. So this topic came to me today because I wanted to come forth and be honest, and then sort of open your eyes as an audience, like, okay, maybe there are things that I don't notice about myself, right? Maybe there are things that I'm not proud of that I sort of blind myself to. Because I can tell you, for me, I painted it just as that. Like, oh yeah, I'm venting to my dad, or I'm talking to Brian to blow off steam. But what you don't realize is that is creating resentment towards whoever you're talking about. And that's not fair to them. Like really, if you have a problem, you should bring it up with them. And that's something I've struggled with too, is I'm not big on conflict. I hate conflict. So when it comes up, I freeze. And then I just kind of go into this mode of like shutting down and do what I'll do and try not to let people see, but I really do. I shut down. I've done it since I was younger. And that's another thing Matt's working with me on, because he's like, I don't want somebody on my team who's going to shut down every time that resistance is given. He was like, I would rather you fight it out with me. We get to the end of it, and then that's that. Then you shut down and just do whatever, you know, and go slow and be mopey. And, you know, it rings true. Like, that's a fair ask of me. That's a fair thing. But it's crazy because, you know, I've been on this personal development journey since I started this studio. So many discoveries have been made. And if you knew me the day I walked in, then you would understand, like, hey, this guy is way different. Like, I don't even recognize him anymore. And yet there's still so much to learn, so many things to get better at. So I just wanted to remind everybody today with this topic, go into a little self-reflection, but also tell you there's probably things that you do that you don't realize you're doing that are actually painful to the people you're around, or that aren't benefiting them. And at the end of the day, if you're doing it out of love, if you're doing it because you love them, then why would you go out and make them feel that way? And again, it's unintentional. So it's about waking yourself up to, okay, I'm not going to do that thing anymore. Like, that's not fair. If somebody did that to me, I wouldn't feel good about it. And so that's my challenge to you guys today is go out and just realize, what are the things that I might be doing on a daily basis that I don't even realize that I do that could be detrimental to me or my circle, the people around me? And let's try to cut those habits out. Because the more you do that, I'm not saying it'll go away. Mine hasn't gone away. I still vent. I still get angry. I still shut down. But now I'm aware of it. Now it's something I'm held accountable for because I know I do that thing. And once you know, you're responsible for knowing, and you're responsible for keeping an eye on it and understanding, hey, that's not okay. I don't want to be that person. So I'm going to wipe that slate clean every time I do it. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to go talk to the person right away so that nothing lingers. Because that's the other thing. I do not believe in the concept of like, let's put it off and talk about it later. Because then, like, don't be fake. People feel energy. Like, somebody knows if you're upset with them or mad at them. And that's another thing that I used to do that it would drive me insane if I did this to myself, which is funny. But, like, pretending like there's nothing there when clearly you're upset. Like, you can't go about work. You can't go about hanging out with your loved one or your family if you're mad at them. Like, you have to talk about it and clear the energy. So this turned into Shatter the Illusion / clear your energy. But that's really the big takeaway I want you to have here, because it's tough to look inward sometimes, and I get that. But on the other end of it, it's super rewarding, and it makes you a better person in the end. And as long as you're aware of the things that you're not necessarily proud of, or habits that you've created that are bad habits, and you choose to work on them every day, you're going to set yourself up for success in the future beyond what you ever imagined, because you're going to keep evolving into this person you never knew you could be. So that's what I got for you guys this morning. Super glad you all hopped on here. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, follow us at Deering Acting Studio. Keep up with the latest content. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. For those of you that are in class, we will see. Oh, it's Tuesday. I just realized it's Tuesday. Wow. It's that kind of day. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. See those of you that are in class, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.